Math.
Civil engineers use math. Meet a hospital dietitian who knows her basics but also uses a calculator to do her job.
As a registered dietitian in an acute care hospital, a typical day might be coming in and looking over my RANs, which includes all the patients that are in the hospital that are eating and some that are not eating. And I go through based on a priority system and select the patients that really need nutrition care services. I go up to the floors, the patient floors, and I first look at the patient's chart because that's where all the information is about the patient and their problem. And I review the patient's chart, find their diet order, and really focus in on any sort of nutrition-related problems. After I've done that, if I have any questions for the nursing staff or the service partners regarding the patient and their abilities to eat, how they're eating, their skin, we talk about that, and I get a real good feeling for the patient and their nutrition needs.
This is Cooksey. We're ready.
I go into the patient's room, introduce myself, and ask them kind of basic questions. You know, how's your appetite? How do you like the food? Are you getting what you want? I also assess their nutritional status, and that's really important because at that point I can develop a plan for a particular patient. If the patient is agreeable to the plan, I then conclude our meeting and I leave the patient's room and I go to the patient's chart, and that's where I chart in the patient's progress notes, and I then form an assessment based on all the information that I've collected during the meeting with the patient and meeting with the staff. And then with that assessment, I develop a plan. How are we going to get this patient to be able to eat more, nourish their bodies more, so they can get better quicker? I use math on a regular basis here at the hospital. It's surprising where I will use math. I use my calculator a lot to calculate patients' weight. A lot of times it's provided in kilograms and I'll convert it to pounds, and I use my calculator. Also, we provide nutrition support, and that's nutrition through an IV, and that requires a lot of math and calculating so that I'll get the proper nutrient composition, protein, carbohydrate, and fat. And I use math very much in calculating a patient's nutrient needs. I work very closely with the kitchen staff in getting foods that I feel are appropriate for a patient, that a patient will eat, because that's what's important. The kitchen staff have been trained to weigh and measure food so that a patient gets the proper amount of food without overfeeding or underfeeding a patient. Our diet clerks also do some calculating in terms of if tube feeding is ordered at half strength, how much water do they put in, how much formula do they put in. And we have trained them to be able to come up with a recipe and give it to the kitchen staff, and then they measure out the proper amount of formula and water and send it up to the patient. My greatest job satisfaction is working with the patient in the hospital and seeing them smile. When I can make it better here at the hospital, make the food more enticing, because really that's the only thing that patients feel like they can control, and food can make them feel better. And so when I leave a patient's room and they say thank you, and I can see it in their eyes that they're very appreciative, that's very rewarding. I like that.